Okay, I just wanted to show you how to do animated textures within Mari. So what I've got here is just a simple model just for me to apply my textures to. So what the first thing I'm going to do is set up my shader, and I'm just going to pick just a blend shader. Okay, and I'll let that do its stuff. Okay, so it's there's my shader. So I just need to apply some bits to it. So let's go into, now I've only just learnt, well, I'm learning Mari, so I might be a bit sloppy with this. But as you can see in my channels, I've got my kind of channel folder, which and obviously I've got the layers associated with that as well, which are in there. At the moment there's just one base there. Just pin that open so it stays open. So that's my colour, which basically anything I put in here, which is my diffuse, will go into this channel here, which is a folder. So I need to just connect that up so that I get some colour going on in here. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to pick my colour channel. Okay, at the moment nothing's in there because I haven't painted on it, but you know, I could paint on it like that and I get my colour. That's just going on to this base colour here. So to actually get my textures in here and to get them kind of working, I need to bake that as well. So press B on the keyboard to bake that down. You can see in my UVs here, these are my UVs for this particular model. And yeah, we want to apply the texture. Now I take it you know how to sort of texture this model up using the layers, but it's a bit trickier with the animated textures, and I didn't really find any good tutorials, so I had to kind of look in the user manual to find this information. So which is a bit bad, but never mind, that's why I'm doing this video. So if I want to apply an animated texture, now the animated texture I'm going to use is going to be a run cycle that I did out from for a games project recently. It's just this guy running here, and I just did him out as targets and in a sequence. So that's why it's 00019, 00020, and did them out as a sequence from After Effects, and just sized them quite small so that I can put them in, so I can take those images. So I'm not going to take all of them because it will just give you an idea. If you come over here to Image Manager, and you should be able to get that, just make sure you get palettes, all your stuff down here. So View Palettes, you can open all these options up from here. But I've got Image Manager, and at the moment there's nothing in there. So if I go back to Bridge now, and you can do this, and you can upload them here, or you can drag and drop them from our task window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and drag a few of these images across. So let's take this one. It's acting a bit slow because Mari's quite intensive on the memory here, especially with Bridge open and Camtasia as well. So give me a second. Okay, so I've selected my, not all of them, I selected 0 to 30 frame 35. I'm going to drag those into my Image Manager like so, and then I'm going to come back into my layers. Now if you're with me now, I remember it's channels, color, hit this little checkbox, and I've pinned it to pin this open. So I want another layer on top of this for my animated texture, so I'm just going to drop another one in here, and I'll just name it animated. Okay, and now the fun part begins, because what I'm going to use is I'm going to position my thing, but I also need to make sure my play controls are up. Now these might not be up by default on your machine, so if they're not, again go to View, Palettes, and down to play, where is it? There, play control, make sure that's on. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the paint through for this particular. Now you could do this in the UVs as well as the perspective. I'm just choosing this. I'm also just going to set the position. So the first thing I'm going to do is come back to my image manager, and I'm going to select the first alien run. I'm just going to click this one and I'm going to drag it in here. That will give me this. So it means that if I press the, I think it's the shift key, yeah, you can move it. So I'm going to say that I want this animated texture to be applied here across. Okay, so I'm going to press R on the keyboard to make this a bit bigger, and then I'm just going to go across here. Okay, now I'm going to set a keyframe. So I'm going to click Add Keyframe. Now I'm going to go to frame 2, which is there, and I'm going to drag the next one in. Now it should appear in the same place, and now I'm going to paint that on, and I'm going to do a plus for that. It seems to have not worked properly there. Let me just go back to 1. Oh, it's because I didn't bake it. I've got manual bake turned on, so I need to press B on the keyboard, and then I just need to set that frame. Then I need to go to there, the next frame, drag number 1 in, paint over him, bake him down, add a keyframe. So now I should, there's something going on, but let's go to the next frame, which is 3. Is it 3 or is it 2? Actually, I think it's 2. Because that's 0. Alright. That's 1. That's 2. I'm just going to get rid of this. Okay. So I'm going to drag number 2 in, and then I'm going to paint across him, and I'm going to add a keyframe. And now, of course, you've got to remember to bake. Remember to bake. Okay. So then I'm going to go to the next one, drag him in, that, press bake, and there. And then the next one, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, because it's minute movement, so I'm going to move a brand new one in, so you get a brand new frame in there. It'll be a bit clearer to see. I'm going to bake that down, press that. Okay, so now that's what you've got, your baked animated texture. So I could then come in another one of these, and I could grab maybe this one at the end and just paint him in, bake him down, press add keyframe, and in fact I've gone one too far, so I'll add another keyframe there, it doesn't matter. And this is what we'll get. So animated textures. Of course you could put these wherever you like, and you could also go into UVs in here, and you can see the distortion that's happened as you put it on there. But if you run through here, you can see the texture. So you could come in here and you could use a mask if you wanted to within this layer. I could then hit the mask stack, and inside of here I could create a mask for this. So for instance, I might want to get rid of some of this, so I'll just swap this for the black, and I could take out sections of this non-destructively, because I can get this information back, and then I can run through and see, oh look, he's there, so I want to get that information back, so I'll switch to there, and switch to, so I could do, and of course I could animate this as well, so I could animate this mask to work with it if I wanted to. So really cool. So let's go back to here now, have a look. Oh, hold on, let me just bake this in. Press B. And now we've got our animation running across. Okay, right, that's it. So that's how to do animated textures in Mari using an image sequence. So image sequences could be taken out of any 3D application or any compositing application or any editing application, or of course you could do it in Photoshop as individual frames. So use that sequence and bring it in there, and you can just pull them across and add the keyframes in the keyframe manager down here. Okay, so that's that. Now there is another thing as well, turntables. Now this is a funny one, because how do we produce a turntable within Mari and export it out of, say, this model? Well, it's actually really easy, but again, I haven't found many tutorials on this, and that's why I'm doing it. So what we do to do a turntable of this is come into View, go down to Palettes, and make sure projectors are up. And you might not have a projector in there, so what we need to do is we need to create a projector. Okay, so we've created that projector there. Now I'm going to right hand click and make projector current. Now the projector is what he's going to be looking at in here. So now that's current, I can do a turntable of this model. So I could set him, say, to, I don't know, here, and we could right hand click and go render turntable. That'll give me a series of settings here, so we can have a look and say, right, okay, we want it 1024, want it grey, filters, offset, play animation, frames. That's how many frames it's going to generate. For this sequence, I'll just bring this right down because I don't need many frames, just to demonstrate to you. I put 54. The path to output this to, I want it to output to my desktop, so I'm just going to choose that. And the template, I usually leave this the same. It will produce it out as a series of frames, but of course you can turn that, in fact, can I change that? Yeah, you got full lighting there, so we'll turn that on. Play animation. No. Okay, we don't want to play that. And then we just, so we set the location. We've kept this the same. Remember, you could change this bit to say my creature or something, and then just leave. You want to leave the little $sign in the frame, because that's the frame number. So when you bring it into something like Nuke or After Effects, you can do that in sequence. It will bring it in as a sequence. So I'm just going to click OK. And that will produce out 60 something frames. It'll take a little bit of time to do, so I'll come back to you when it's finished. Okay, well, it's finished, and it's dumped out a hefty old load of stuff, but it's a PNG file, so if I'd have put no background, they would have been alphaed out, which is handy. So there they all are on my desktop, dumped all over the place. So I would just normally now just take these and drop them into something like, for argument's sake, After Effects. So I'll do that now. So we just go to just import files, desktop, grab the 00. What, I don't think it's produced a 000, but yeah, it starts from 0. So I also check the PNG sequence. I'll just open that, and then I can dump that into the viewing window, and of course now I've got my turntable straight out of Mari. And if you look, you can see this is animating a little bit. So very cool. So that's how to produce a turntable straight out of Mari, and also to do animated textures from Mari as well.